Hello everyone, welcome again to Xanderfaulks channel. I hope you enjoyed my video explaining where I've been, and as promised I said I was going to do a complete DVD, Blu-ray, TV box set collection, just the whole thing, the whole lot. And I'm going to start and crack on right with it because it's going to be quite a while. It's not as extensive as some of my friends, and it's certainly not as extensive as Carl, Movie Collector Geeks. That guy could have multiple different series, a TV special and a Netflix movie, and he still wouldn't cover half the things that he has. Just need my wonderful assistant to help me. Isn't that right? Nah, that's the best. That's the best you're going to get from her. Yeah, you can sit there and smirk. First on the list is 10 Cloverfield Lane Steelbook. Now this is a really bloody good film. This kind of started the anthology method of the Cloverfield films, and I think it's a really underrated movie. People really like this. It's not as... I love the found footage Cloverfield, but this is equally as good, and I think it's an incredible debut from, I believe, the director Dan Trachtenberg. Fantastic bloody movie. Next on the list is the Arrow version of 12 Monkeys. Excellent, excellent sci-fi film from Terry Gilliam with Bruce Willis. This was back when Bruce Willis actually gave a shit.
Did you know that some actors turn down roles?
Then we have 127 Hours, a really good Danny Boyle film, very much his style at the time, very hyper-edited, also very colourful. It's a really good film, good kind of biopic and really good drama as well, with a really good performance from James Franco. Next up is 1408, the director's cut. This is I think this is a Swedish European release of the director's cut, because the director's cut's quite hard to get on Blu-ray. I don't think there's an American release off the top of my head. And next up the list is 21 Jump Street and 22 Jump Street. Next up is a proud purchase of mine, I guess, in some way. It is the Alien Anthology on Blu-ray. I absolutely adore the first two Alien films, absolute classics of horror and action. But yes,
I approve.
You like it. You like Alien 1 more though, don't you?
Yes.
For someone that doesn't like horror, you prefer the first one. That's bloody weird. I thought she liked Aliens more, but she's like, no, it's too boring. Blasphemer! I think that's the only case where I think I should have shown you the theatrical cut though. But I think you might have liked that one more because it's faster. Alien 3 and 4 on the other hand, that's when I start getting because I think they're good films, but they're not good sequels to Aliens. Aliens was such a perfect film to end the films on, or at least continue a really good third movie, but for some stupid reason no one could ever agree on a good Alien 3 idea, and all of them involved for some stupid reason to kill off all the characters in Alien 2. So Alien 3, with the exception of Sigourney Weaver, they just kill everyone off, and it's this really depressing film. But it is David Fincher's first film, and I think it's the work print cut there's a lot to really like there as a film, not as an Alien movie, but just as a film in general. There's a lot of really good stuff in that, and then Alien 4 is just very bizarre. I don't like 3 and 4 as much. I only really bought this because it was cheaper to get this and have the whole box set with all the extras than just get the first two separately. But this is the ultimate definitive version for those first two, unless you want to get the 4K. Continuing the Alien trend, I also have a DVD steelbook for Alien vs Predator, but inside, well, if the discs don't fall out, I do have the Blu-ray and then the discs inside. The best version of this is the Blu-ray, but I've stuck the Blu-ray in this definitive edition steelbook because I love the design for this. And then we have one of these most surprising films, and I think even you enjoyed it, didn't you?
I loved it.
You bet you loved it. Was Alita Battle Angel. This was a film I did enjoy when I went to see it in cinemas. It'd been delayed for quite some time, this did, but I liked it coming out, but I felt it could have been better. But then I wanted to watch it again, and this is something that's just grown on me the more and more times I watch it. There is a lot to really like here, and I love it so much that my lovely girlfriend got me a little Funko Pop of Alita. Next we have American Psycho. Good movie, fucked up movie. You will never be a fan of Phil Collins ever again. Worth checking out, good movie. Then we have 3:10 to Yuma, one of my favourite remakes. James Mangold, who was the Logan director and recently did Le Mans 66 or Ford versus Ferrari. Really good remake of a Western with some really good Christian Bale and Russell Crowe performances. Also got the Scream Factory version of 8mm, one of my most underrated all-time favourite films. I don't think it gets enough love it deserves, and honestly I have to say, rest in peace to the legend himself, Joel Schumacher. I mean, he gave us Bat Nipples, but he also gave us 8mm. So next up we have The Addams Family and The Addams Family Values. This finally on bloody Blu-ray in the UK. Next up we've got one of my favourite films of last year, Ad Astra. People don't talk about this enough. This is not a big sci-fi movie, but they kind of in the trailers they portrayed it as like an action film. This isn't an action film, it's a drama that happens to be in space. While it's a slow, dramatic movie, has fantastic performances. People criticise Brad Pitt in this. If you can't watch the scene where he's got to send a communication to his father, and you don't get emotional, and you don't see the emotion going through Brad Pitt's eyes, which is always the best sign of a good actor, then you didn't watch this film properly, or you just simply don't like Brad Pitt. If you want to see a really good sci-fi space drama thriller, Ad Astra's fantastic, really worth checking out, one of the best films of last year. Next up is one of my favourite found footage movies ever made, and that is Afflicted. This is basically a horror version of Chronicle, and without spoiling too much, where every other found footage film would end is this film's halfway point, and this is a fantastic stunt-laden, spectacle-laden, action scene-laden movie. Then we have Air Force One, classic Harrison Ford film. Then we have the Arrow version of American Werewolf in London, absolute classic. I flipped and flopped through this. I didn't like it as much when I was a kid because my parents used to go on about how great this was, but I've liked it, then not liked it, and liked it, and then not liked it. But this is the definitive version, really good scan of this film, and it's something that I've grown to like more and more as an adult. It's just so darkly funny and very bleak and very British despite being made by Americans. Very funny, very witty movie. Then we have Angelo, one of Luc Besson's best films. Definitely not his perviest one because he has a problem with that, but this is one of his best. Then we have one of the most terrifying war films ever made, but one of the best. Apocalypse Now, a really dark adaptation of Heart of Darkness by Joseph Conrad, and it's just a very intense, dramatic look at war. Then we have another found footage horror film that I really like, Apollo 18. It's made to look like footage that was shot in the 70s about a secret Apollo mission to the moon that we never knew about. It's portrayed as like a conspiracy movie. Then we have another found footage horror film, that is As Above, So Below. Again, one of the best ones. You're not really going to find films in my collection that I don't really like. And then we've got a film that still causes divide in some people, Avatar. This is the box set that includes all the different cuts of the film. I do prefer the longer cut. I'm really looking forward to Avatar 2 and 3, but I would kind of like it if James Cameron released True Lies in the Abyss on fucking Blu-ray. You've got every other film, mate. Release it. Fucking do it. Now, this is one of my favourite horror films ever, The Babadook. And another film that got recommended that I never watched growing up, Backdraft. Then we got Baby Driver, another excellent Edgar Wright movie. This is the latest film that he's done. He's doing one now called Last Night in Soho. Then we got classic, Back to the Future trilogy. What can I say? If you haven't seen these films, go and watch them. They're classics. They're comedies. They're great. One of my guiltiest of guilty pleasures, it's Bad Santa. This is the most crass, offensive kind of comedy. The humour is just foul, but it's a film with heart. But I really enjoy Bad Santa. The second one could go and suck my dick. And then we have the Christopher Nolan Batman trilogy. We're starting to get to the superhero films now. I have Batman Begins and I have Dark Knight Rises in Steelbook, but I don't have The Dark Knight. So if anyone knows how to get a good one for a decent enough price, I'm not going to pay stupid amounts of money for the Steelbook, but when you stick these films on the shelf and the middle one is just this Blu-ray, your OCD kind of kicks in, you kind of need it. And I'm going to have a hot take opinion here. I don't think the Tim Burton ones are really that good. I think they're overrated. And there goes my channel. While it's not exactly alphabetical, it's basically my Batman section, this, and my DC movie list from now. So the next one is Man of Steel, which leads me on to Batman vs Superman, Dawn of Justice, the Ultimate Edition. And I think this film and this cut is a testament to anyone worrying about the Justice League Snyder cut that's coming out. We've seen what they can do to his films just by trimming half an hour out. Now we're finally going to get the thing that he wants to make. And I'm all for it because they had something good going on here, but they kept trying to ruin it and they kept listening to fan feedback who keep wanting the same shit they've got before. And I'm tired of it. I like this new version. I think they're good. People just need to stop whining. But you can have your Wonder Womans and your Aquamans. I think they're really good as well. Good fun movies. Next up is Battle Royale, and it's far better than Hunger Games. Don't at me. Speeding things along because I have no idea of the concept of brevity, we have found footage film The Bay. Really underrated, really good biological horror found footage film, very different. Then we have the classic movie Big, really good film. I don't like it as much as I did as a kid, but I still like this film. One of my all-time favourites next, Big Trouble in Little China. John Carpenter knows how to do a wacky, out-there comedy. Again, Kurt Russell. You can't go wrong with Kurt Russell. The man's amazing. Yes, I might be gay for him. Deal with it. Then we have Birdman, Black Swan, Blade 1 and then Blade 2. Why not Blade 3? Because it sucks and it's awful. Blade Runner and Blade Runner 2049. I've got both. This is the 4K box version. I wanted to get it because I've got this version that includes all the different cuts. It's not just the final cut because Ridley Scott doesn't know how to leave anything alone. This film has like 5 different cuts. We have Blair Witch Project and Blair Witch. You just kind of can't do the first one again. That's lightning in a bottle and you're never going to capture that film ever again. So you're going to have to start doing something different. And I think Blair Witch is just, they want this again. That's what they want, but they're never going to get this again, and they need to kind of give it up. Give up the ghost. Then we've got Blue Ruin, fantastic lo-fi kind of thriller. Now for the Bond films, because unfortunately, because there's so many of them, I've decided to put Bond in B. We've got the Daniel Craig box set. This includes all of his ones, Casino Royale, Quantum of Solace, Skyfall and Spectre. So there's my GoldenEye steelbook. I absolutely love this film, really good. And I do have all of his other ones. I've got Tomorrow Never Dies, I've got The World Is Not Enough, I also have Die Another Day. Absolute guilty pleasure, and none as bad as people keep saying it is. It's a lot of fun. Next up we have Bone Tomahawk, one of my favourite comedies ever, and I can't wait for the sequel that apparently has either been made or is going to be made. Borat, one of the best parodies and satires ever. Then we have the Wachowski brothers' very first movie, Bound. Excellent movie. Then we have the Ultimate Bourne Collection. This is a DVD, but it does happen to have all 3 films on Blu-ray because it was cheaper to get the films on Blu-ray than it was to get the steelbook. And I don't want the 4th one because every Bourne film after the 3rd one is an absolute pile of ass. Disgusting. Disgusting! Then we have Bowfinger. We have Vince Vaughn in Brawl in Cell Block 99. This is really good, really brutal. Next up, we've got Arrow Steelbook for the Burbs. Again, really good satire, comedy from Joe Dante. Then we've got Cabin in the Woods, another great horror satire. Fantastic, excellent film. Next up, we have The Cable Guy, very underrated Jim Carrey film. Really dark, blackly funny, directed by Ben Stiller. Candyman, everyone loves this film, and I really hope that that new one that's been delayed again can hold something of a candle to the original. And if it doesn't have Tony Todd in it, fuck you. Then we have Centurion. We truly have a classic. It's the 75th anniversary version of Citizen Kane. Beautiful box. And then we have The Guiltiest of Guilty Pleasures. Charlie's Angels box set. Both yeah, the good ones, proving that you can still have women that are attractive and sexy and be kick-ass at the same time. It's almost like me? Yeah, of course. And it's almost like those two things aren't mutually exclusive, which I think Elizabeth Banks needs to realise. Really underrated horror film now, we have Chernobyl Diaries. People hate this, say it's a found footage film. It's not. Children of Men. My university lecturer hates this film. Yeah, I didn't listen to his opinion either. Then we have the best vacation movie, Christmas Vacation. And even though we mentioned Chronicle earlier, it is actually Chronicle, the extended cut. Again, another good high concept found footage film. Following the high budget found footage trend, we have Cloverfield. This is the DVD steelbook. Next up is Clue. Then we've got Cold in July. Fantastic, good thriller with Dexter himself, Michael C. Hall. Then we have The Colony. Love this. Lawrence Fishburne kicks ass in this. Then we have Michael Mann's best film ever made. It's Collateral. Next up we have The Collector. I prefer this over Saw, and I'm looking forward to the 3rd one that they're doing. Because they're saying they're going back to this kind of style, and I hope they do, because the 2nd one, while having some good moments, it really lost its way, and I wouldn't own the 2nd one. I think it just goes far too overboard in that, in a bit of a dumb way.